A group of friends camping in a secluded forest discovers a forgotten cabin that evokes a sense of dread. As night falls, strange noises and a feeling of being watched intensify their fear. An old diary reveals the previous occupant's terror, and eerie occurrences escalate, culminating in a shadowy figure appearing at the cabin. Terrified, they flee at dawn, leaving the cabin's door ominously open, a chilling reminder of their haunting experience. It was dusk, and the forest was getting eerily quiet. We stumbled upon a small, forgotten cabin hidden behind a cluster of trees. Vines had overtaken the crumbling walls, and it looked like no one.
The sight gave me a bad feeling. Despite the unease, we pitched our tents near the cabin. The fire's warm glow cast shadows on the trees, but I couldn't stop glancing at the cabin. The dark windows seemed to hide something. My friends, laughing around the fire, didn't notice. The cabin was almost hypnotic. I kept feeling like something was watching us from inside. Every time I looked away, my eyes drifted back. The laughter and stories my friends shared felt distant, overshadowed by my growing sense of dread. As the night deepened, I heard a soft, rhythmic tapping coming from the cabin. It was faint but steady, like someone knocking lightly on the walls. I glanced around, but no one else seemed to notice. We couldn't ignore it anymore. We crept inside the cabin, the smell of mold and decay instantly overwhelming. Everything was coated in dust. In the corner, I found an old diary. The brittle pages fell apart as I opened them. The diary belonged to a man who once lived here. He wrote about feeling watched, about strange noises at night. His last entry ended abruptly. He described something in the woods, something he couldn't escape. As we read, heavy footsteps echoed from upstairs. We froze. There was no one up there, and the floorboards shouldn't have supported any weight. The footsteps grew louder, then stopped. My skin crawled. I led the group up the creaky stairs, heart pounding in my chest. The flashlight's beam flickered over the dusty floor, but there was nothing, just an empty space. Yet the feeling of being watched was suffocating. Back at camp, Yas swore he saw a shadow dart past the window. We all turned, but saw nothing. The wind had picked up, but the forest had become disturbingly quiet, almost as if it was holding its breath. We agreed to take turns keeping watch. As I sat by the fire, my back to the cabin, I could feel the weight of unseen eyes on me. Every crack of a branch felt like something creeping closer. I gripped the flashlight tightly, praying for dawn. In the still of the night, a whisper brushed past my ear. It was soft, barely audible, but I knew it wasn't one of my friends. It sent chills down my spine, like a warning that we shouldn't be here. Suddenly, the cabin door creaked open. None of us had touched it. We stared in horror as the door swung wide, revealing the darkness inside. The air grew colder, and I took a step back, my heart racing. Through the open door, I saw a shadowy figure, almost human, moving in the darkness. My breath caught in my throat. It was slow, deliberate, and getting closer. The air grew colder, and I took a step back, my heart racing. Through the open door, I saw a shadowy figure, almost human, moving in the darkness. My breath caught in my throat. It was slow, deliberate, and getting closer. The air was thick with fear, none of us daring to go near the cabin again. I didn't sleep that night. I sat by the dying fire, eyes locked on the cabin. The shadow was still there, lurking just outside the window, pacing back and forth. It wasn't going to leave us alone. At first light, we packed up, desperate to leave. As we hurried through the woods, I glanced back one last time. The cabin door was wide open again, as if waiting for us to return. A shiver ran down my spine, and I vowed never to come back.